Collection development and management is a twofold process. Johnson describes collection development as the selection and building of a collection based on the needs and interests of the library and its community. Collection management is described as the thoughtful process of deciding what to do after the collection is developed. The collection at B.F. Jones Memorial Library exceeds 92,700 items and is broken down over two main departments, adults and children. Cindy Murphy, the Reference and Circulation Coordinator, is responsible for the adult portion of the collection. With 18 years of service to the library and an undergraduate degree in liberal arts, Mrs. Murphy is in charge of developing and managing the adult collection, which totals 43,000 items. While she does not hold an MLS, she has received extensive on-the-job training from coworkers. This reflects Johnson's observation that through technological advancements, decreased funding, fewer staff members, and greater demands on professional staff, the duties which were originally strictly managed by professional librarians are now being passed to paraprofessionals. In her current position, Mrs. Murphy takes care of all selecting, ordering, receiving, labeling, processing, cataloging, and organizing for the adult collection. This accounts for 75% of her current workload. With the library's mission and vision in mind, Mrs. Murphy strives to select and order books and materials which provide the community with current information that is specific to the area's interests and needs. She says that there is a high demand for information on narcotic addiction, overdose, and treatment. These are things which have hit the community hard in recent years, and she feels that people deserve to have a reliable source of information. These additions have helped in community building efforts for the library, recognizing the marginalized members of the community and providing them with essential information. The library has very little oversight where collection development and management are concerned, and Mrs. Murphy knows that this puts a lot of pressure on her decision-making skills, and she is conscientious of how her personal beliefs could affect her collection development. In this way, she puts great effort into protecting her patrons' intellectual freedom and upholding the ALA's Freedom to Read statement. The majority of the adult collection is ordered through Ingram on the iPage website. Ingram also provides reviews from several trusted sources, which Mrs. Murphy says are very helpful when she's making book selections. The library also has standing orders for audiobooks and large print fiction. The Beaver County Library System also has a cooperative order which is managed and distributed regularly through the system headquarters. Mrs. Murphy is not responsible for the management of standing order contracts. This is handled by the director of the library. The adult collection is fixed at $12,000 a year. The majority of the funding comes from the state of Pennsylvania, fundraising, and individual donations. Along with collection development, Mrs. Murphy also puts a lot of time and effort into collection management. She organizes the placement of materials and rotating collection displays. She is also responsible for weeding the collection. Johnson tells us that weeding is the process of removing materials from an active collection for withdrawal or transfer. Mrs. Murphy keeps a yearly weeding schedule to keep the collection current, browsable, and attractive. Mrs. Murphy says that the most popular items in her collection are current fiction titles. She finds out what people like through personal interactions with patrons, patron requests, and by tracking frequent checkouts. She is always open to new purchasing suggestions and is aware that she may not always know what everyone needs and wants in the collection. Administrative team members must be willing to accept that their perception of what the user population wants and needs may be very different from those people's actual wants and needs. Mrs. Murphy believes that in the coming years, the library will become even more community-focused. The library has taken on more social services over the years, and she sees funding shifting from the collection to more social services.